Welcome to today's episode where we dive into a powerful story of transformation and reinvention in the world of entrepreneurship. Our guest today is a former barbershop owner who built an empire only to face the challenges that come with such success. But rather than giving up, he embraced reinvention, turning setbacks into new opportunities. From creating a thriving community to navigating the emotional journey of closure and new beginnings, his story is one of growth, vision, and resilience. Let's hear how he reinvented himself and his business and the valuable lessons he's learned along the way. Welcome to the Hear What I'm Saying podcast. I'm your host, Kenitra Stewart. Today, we are in Phoenix, Arizona with Omar Lavender. Omar, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming in.
No, thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for being a guest and carving some time out of your schedule to be here with us.
It's too easy.
Too easy.
Too easy.
That's good. That's good to know. Well, we'll just jump right into it. If that's what you want to do, you got something you want to say or something you want to...
Let's get right to it.
Let's get right into it then.
Hear what I'm saying.
What inspired you to drop out of high school and pursue your dream of becoming a barber?
So I wasn't really good at school, so that made it easy right there. I had a hard time at school, so when I got to my senior year, my last year at high school, I just left.
What do you mean you had a hard time? Like,
I just had a hard time. I got left back in the third grade.
So like academically?
So, academically, yeah, I had a hard time just keeping up with the pace and learning and, just going through school. I was just tired of it. I had a hard time picking it up. So it made my decision easy. Once I knew what I wanted to do, it made my decision easy. It wasn't the best decision, but, at that time I was really impatient. So, I wanted to get right to it, and I wound up leaving school and joining a barber school.
What grade were you in when you dropped out?
11th.
11th.
Yeah.
And how did your parents support
I was
that?
in 11th grade, but I only had credits for like 10th. I was bad in high school.
So did you have a behavior problem too?
No. When I say bad, bad academically.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It was hard for me to pay attention. It was hard for me to focus.
Were you not just interested?
I was not interested.
Okay. Not one subject, just...
Not one subject.
Wow.
Maybe history sometime because some of the things are interesting, but from like math, science, I left out in science. Like I hated science. I didn't feel like why I needed to be here. Like I didn't, at that time I was just super impatient with myself.
Did you know what you wanted to be when you were being impatient? Like, did you know, like, I just want to be a barber, or you just knew you just didn't want to have nothing to do with school?
I just know I didn't want to have anything to do with school.
Okay.
But I used to always shape myself up and cut people here in my neighborhood. So I knew we had a barber school in the county that I was in, and I used to always drive past it. So one day I picked up a pamphlet, and I just like had the pamphlet, the brochure in my room. This was probably like my junior year, like that junior year, that summertime before school started. I picked up a pamphlet. I just walked in there, picked up a pamphlet, and I had it for like 2 weeks. So like I didn't last too long in the beginning of that school. I probably lasted like 2 weeks. Oh. And I got up out of there, talked to my mother, told her what I wanted to do, and we made it happen with the school.
Okay.
Yeah, it was super, super like impulsive.
Yeah, it was. That's what I'm sitting up here processing.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I'm thinking maybe since you were a kid, you had dreams of being a barber, but it just sounded like you just kind of had a natural gift and you just went with that.
A gift? I don't even think it was just a gift. It was a decision. I made a quick decision. I was having a hard time with school. I was like, I'm not going to be here till I'm 19, 20.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not want to be there at 20.
Yeah.
And that's what it was looking like for me to catch up with my credits. It was like 19, 20. I was like, nah, I'm not staying here.
Do you think you would have been, or you would have excelled academically if you would have been interested? Or you just like your mind is like one of those, like it just block it if it just don't want to have nothing to do with it?
No, I think I was really serious in high school. I had a girlfriend I was real serious with. I wanted money.
Trying to grow up fast.
Yeah, I wanted like a car. I wanted to be able to take her out to dinner Like I liked having money in my pocket. So, and I knew I was kind of good at cutting hair, and I just took that chance. So,
what did she think about you dropping out?
Who?
Your girlfriend.
I don't even remember. I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't really important.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't really remember how she felt about it, but yeah, I was serious in high school. Like I was like,
you feel like you was more
being
mature
like a grown
too?
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I felt. Like just rushing in a rush.
So when you entered into barber school, how long was barber school for you? Like how many hours is that?
It was 1,500 hours. I finished it in 9 months. Oh,
so you were passionate about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I was doing. I wasn't going to school, so
okay.
I was treating that like school. Like my senior year would have been, that time would have been like I was going to school. So I just used that time like I was going to school. I was out by like that next September. I was out.
Yeah, because 1,500 hours usually take like a year, depending on how long the days are. It can take like a year, and you got out of there in like 9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever you completed barber school, did you go straight into opening up your first barbershop, or you did work under somebody?
Nah, I worked for somebody for 3.5 years.
Yeah. How was that?
It was cool. It was good. I worked in like an older age barbershop, probably like 35 and up. Most of the barbers was like 35 and up. It was cool. I learned a lot. Yeah. It was a good starting place for me. I was super young around all of these OG barbers. It was really good. I was around like older men at that time. So
was that in Woodbridge too?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, right in the same town. All of this is right in the same town.
Okay. So after 3 years, like what motivated you to just start your barbershop? Like what made you feel like, okay, I have enough, skill set practically, but also some type of business management in order to feel confident to start your first business? Like what inspired that?
It was just out of frustration, kind of like how I left school. Yeah. It was just out of frustration. I was kind of getting into it with one of the, like we bought another barber in that was around the same age as me.
Okay.
I was in there shining, and, kind of me and him was kind of butting heads a little bit. So I had in my mindset, like, I'm not leaving here to go work in somebody else's shop.
Oh, okay.
So I already had in my mind, like, once I leave here, I'm going to my own spot, or I'm doing a whole nother career. I'm doing something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why were y'all butting heads?
Just because we was just like, he was just trying to get more clientele. Like it was a competition thing. Like,
okay.
I don't do competition. Like I never liked competition.
Right.
So I feel like when he came in, it was just like a young barber thing. Like he just felt like I was competition to him, and we just kind of got into it a little bit, and that was enough for me. Like I don't like kind of getting ignorant, especially in somebody else's barbershop that gave both of us opportunities. Like
absolutely,
it would have been nasty. So once I had that situation, I had my mind on like going to go get my own shop, and it didn't happen. Like it didn't take too long for that to happen. After that
I was gonna say, how long did it happen?
It was like right away. It was like within a couple months. Yeah.
So what happened? You was driving down the road, saw a building. Tell me what happened.
So yeah, kind of something similar to what you just said. Like it was a barbershop a few miles away from my house. Mm-hmm. I went and I looked inside of the window. It didn't have any for sale signs or anything.
Okay.
But it had like checker print floors, and I just remember seeing that, like, right. Mm-hmm. And I had a crazy dream just about the checker print floors, right.
Afterwards.
Right after that night. Because I just peeked in there just to see what was going on, Right. And I had the dream, right, and it was just these black and white floors. I don't remember nothing else about the dream but the floors.
Right.
So within those, I don't know how long, like after that, I was searching online for barbershops for sale in Woodbridge, and I put that simple verbiage in Google, barbershops for sale in Woodbridge, and it took me to a website called buybiz.com.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I got in touch with the realtor that was that had a barbershop for sale.
Yeah.
And I called the realtor, and it just happened to be that barbershop. I didn't know it because they can't give you certain information unless you like send in your ID. Like it's confidential information of the locations that they post until they feel like you're serious enough, and they'll give you the address and they'll tell you how much it's going for and all of that. So that's how I came across that. Just like everything just happened. Like right after that incident, I swear, like maybe that next day I just was driving. I was like, let me just put peek in here, see what's going on, and like it just lined up. Like next day, maybe a week or two after that incident, and
you were already building your barbershop, like after like a week of having that altercation with that other barber. Like,
nah, that's how I found it. Like,
a week. Okay,
yeah.
I'm like, dang, that was fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long did it take for you to actually move into your place, your own place?
How long did it take?
Yeah.
3 years? I mean, what you mean, like?
So, from the time you started looking, like how long did it take for you to make that move and go ahead and start your own business?
I want to say January, February was when I was getting in touch with the realtor, and we kind of finalized everything like in March.
Okay.
And so I got like the okay and everything. So it took me like 3 months. I remember it took me like 3 months because I went to the owner and I asked him, can I tell my clients, that I'm getting my own shop and all that. And it was like 3 months in between. I opened up in July.
Okay.
So from like March, when I got the okay and everything, kind of the processing from like March to till about July.
Was it already built out like a barbershop?
It was already built out. Everything was already there.
So you just moved in?
I just moved in, yeah.
Oh, dang. That's why the process was so quick, because I was thinking like you had to like remodel everything and get it prepared to be a barbershop, open for business. It was a
key-term business.
Oh, wow.
So all the chairs was there. It wasn't set up. I had to clean it and make it to my liking, but everything necessary was there already.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I know from working with you and my experience with you, what I noticed the most was like that strong sense of community that you were able to build once you you actually had 2 locations by the time, I learned about your business. But how did you build that strong sense of community? Was that intentional?
No, it wasn't. None of this shit was intentional. Yeah, it wasn't intentional. It was just like one of the guys came with me that worked in pro styling with me, or the first barbershop I went to. I knew him already before we started working together. So I had a relationship with one person already. And I got another guy from the barber school, and me and him, all 3 of us kind of built a tight bond.
Right.
And then people just start coming. Like once people see like a tight bond, they want to be a part of something.
Right.
Once people see like, there's something going on here with this group, like it draws interest to it. So that's kind of how I drew, community to my barbershop. Just having a good group of men in the shop, people just seeing that, and then,
right. And I'm sure also like
just start developing after that.
And like the passion, like seeing that you were driven, you were serious,
Yeah.
I'm sure that helped.
We was all on the same page. We was all like kind of all on the same page.
Okay.
So after a while, just start multiplying, like, that.
More barbers or just more clientele?
More barbers, more people, just more interest. More interest, yeah.
Okay. And how long were you at that location before you started your second location?
4 years.
4 years? Okay. Yeah. So,
about 4 years.
About 4 years. So, whenever I started, working with you, I think I walked into like the No Shave November. No, it was the breast cancer awareness. Like, what inspired you to want to, spread awareness with your organization and your business? Like, making sure you let the community know that you are involved in these, these awarenesses are important to you. What inspired it?
Well, I had a friend personally that was going through that situation, and I had to cut her hair, and she used to always bring her son to the shop. So she was kind of known, in the barbershop, and I just talked to the guys and told them, what was going on, and we all came up with that idea to do something like breast cancer awareness. I mean, a lot of people are affected by cancer, period. So,
right.
A lot of people just kind of caught on, and as far as the barbers and the clients go, they kind of just caught on because everybody kind of relate to a situation around cancer.
Absolutely.
So I did it personally though for a friend that was going through a situation. Matter of fact, she passed away too from that. So
how long after?
Probably like 5 years maybe after.
Oh wow, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Okay. She fought a tough battle, but that was my inspiration behind doing that. Talked to the guys about it; they was all cool with it, and after a while, you start talking to people like anything else, and then people start helping out. Other organizations start to join in with you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty dope because I'd never seen a barbershop do that ever. Not where I'm from. Where I'm from, you just get your hair cut and you go home. It's no, I mean, it's a community where you come and gossip, talk about what's going on, in the community. But yours was more, to me, it was like an organization, not just a shop, but it was like an organization too, and so much intention went into how you were building your community. I don't know if you were aware that that's what you were doing. I think maybe you was just kind of acting in the moment, No,
it's just like when people come into you and they patronize your business, you grow a bond with
But what
them.
I'm saying is, did you know that was going to happen for you?
Normal.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I was like, I don't think it was your intention, but because you're listening to your clients and listening to what's going on with them, or just whatever's going around in Woodbridge, it's like you just attracted it because of what you were doing.
Yeah,
so I guess my question was like, was it intentional at all? And it just seemed like you just listening to your clients and you just want to be there for your clients and show up for them in like different ways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what keep us going. I mean, that's what keep the business rolling. Like business rolling. That's what keeps societies going. It's just like regular, ordinary, everyday people that you're dealing with. So
right.
Yeah, that was easy. That was just an easy thought. And then somebody losing their hair, just like you kind of try to do things to cheer people up. So like, yo, it's all right. Like I'll cut my shit off too.
Yeah.
Like haircutters, the shield cutters. Like women came in there and got cut. Like so, it was cool.
How did that make her feel? Like when she saw y'all making that movement for her based on her story?
Yeah, she was shocked. She was just shocked and amazed that somebody put something together like that for her, So,
absolutely.
I mean, we didn't make it directly, but
Yeah,
she knew what it was for, and
yeah,
it was a good turnout. It was really good.
It was, and I walked into it, so I was like, wow, this is amazing. I never seen really anyone do that. I hadn't been in the industry very long. I probably was in the industry for about 3 years. But even just watching and following stylists that I know, I never seen nobody do that. So I was like, this is a really great place to be. Like what you were doing for like everyone.
Donating hair, like the hair that we cut, you donate it to people. Like hair is a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. So I was especially impressed when we attended the IBS in New York. Do you remember that? When we went to the IBS in New York? That was so much fun. So what made you say, like, I want to be a part of this as well? Because the IBS, to me, is more for, like, hairstylists, estheticians. There are, like, a small community of barbers that come, but not a lot. So what inspired you to say, like, hey, we're going to get together and we're going to go to the IBS and we're going to show up and network and all of the above?
Any opportunity I get to travel, like, and go have fun, I'm going to go do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and also that bring together the team too. Like, who doesn't like traveling? Who doesn't like traveling with people with the same things in common? We all work together. We got a lot of things in common. It's just team building at the same time.
That is.
So I like to have fun and team building. It was easy. I was trying to incorporate stylists to create a barber stylist team, and I think it would have been good to just go as barbers and a couple stylists that I did have all up there together and go to New York. Like who doesn't like
we had a great time. Yeah. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. I think it's important to do stuff like that though when you got a team and you got you're not just working together, but you guys are, go eat lunch together every once in a while, go out of town together every once in a while, That's the way I thought back then, and, team building, and it really helped, I feel like.
It did.
Bring
it really did.
Together.
And when you're mentioning team building, I feel like that's what's missing in a lot of these places. It's like doing things outside of what we do at work in order to create a bond outside, of what we just do day to day. The connections that you have with these people outside of what you just do. It just, to me, like the barbershop community of what you was building, it just keeps you kind of more committed. It's like family. It becomes more like family. And that's what it felt like. It felt like family, you know, coming in there day to day working. It felt really good. Like you wanted to be there. Like sometimes you just don't want to go to work. You don't, it has nothing to do with anything outside of you don't want to go to work. But I never did not want to come, you know, because it was always a good time. It was always good music, always good vibes, always good people. The clients were even amazing. And you could tell that they had a good time too, you know. So that's what I loved about it. As it's a lot of things I loved about it, but that was like one of the things I really miss.
Yeah, that was a good time.
It was a movement.
Yeah,
you know, like time. You had a movement going. It was like the 90s. Like I told you, it was like an era. And I don't know if you remember, but I remember one day you know how your barbershop was built with that little stage, which was so intimidating for a lot of my clients. They hated, and you had me on the end to the right, so they had to walk that green mile just to get to me. Yeah. They hated that. And so they was like, it just felt like everybody looking at me, you know? Yeah. But I remember sitting on that little stage, and you were cutting, and I was like, you have a really great thing going on. I was like, I can see like celebrities pulling up here one day, like come to get their haircut. And you was in so much disbelief. You was like, you know, like maybe. But I was like, I don't think he see what he have going on here. Do you think you saw it in those moments?
Yeah, I think I seen it for community based. Like we could be big here. Like we'll get a lot of people in Woodbridge and the town that I'm in. Yeah. But I didn't see it as big as like how you were seeing it. Like celebrities could come in here, like people that are well known. You know. Yeah. You know, on TV and stuff like that. Like I didn't see it at all like that. But I felt like I did see it like a lot as a pillar in the community, just by like taking a glance over. You know how it was set up, just looking over and seeing just a lot of action going.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
you know what I mean. It was just, you know, it was people waiting in the front when you first walked in, and then you had like this little Soul Train line. It kind of looked like on both sides. You got barbers and you know stylists on both sides. There's just a lot going on. Kids, somebody might be standing in the middle because they watching their kid get their hair cut. Yeah. So it was just a lot of action. Like I just tried to make it like New York and what I thought a barbershop, what I grew up seeing barbershops like. Yeah. And yeah, that was my focus, just making it like the Genesis that I went to. Genesis, the barbershop is named after the shop that I used to go to as a kid, one of the shops I used to go to as a kid. So like that was my big thing, like just recreating that in Virginia.
It did have a New York vibe. Yeah. So barbershops are like that regularly in New York.
It's live, yeah.
They are not like that where I'm from. Yeah. At all. So when I walked in there, I was like, this is different. I've never experienced nothing like this.
And it was respectfully live, too. Like, it wasn't like...
It was.
It was everybody kind of, like, felt comfortable. It was everybody felt the colors. I chose the right colors. It was just bright. So it wasn't like it was a lot of, you know, nonsense and shit going on. It was it was positively, like, a lot going on. Like, a lot of traffic, good traffic. It felt good when you walked in.
Yeah, it did. It really did. Like I said, I was always looking forward to coming to work. Like, I never dreaded coming there. You know, I always wanted to be there. Even when you had me at the first location, you know, it still felt good to come in there, you know, but it was so much better at the second location, you know.
Yeah, it was time for you to come to the other spot.
Man, well, I was so happy.
You came to the first one, though.
I was so happy when you came down there and sat and talked with me and asked me about coming to the second location. I'm like, yes. This is cool, but it's cooler there, you know? Yeah. Did you ever feel overwhelmed or burnt out balancing your personal life with running the businesses that you had?
Yes.
Yeah,
very burnt out because it's like it never stops. Business never stops. You got to compartmentalize like your relationships. You know, you got to put them in compartments and close them. Yeah. You know, I didn't know how. I don't know if I know how to do it now, but I got so burnt out. I'm just not good at that. So it's just like you go home and then you carry some stuff over, you know, to the business. And after a while doing that so many years, you get kind of burnt out, especially when you're passionate about your business. And, you know, I didn't go to school for business, so I'm kind of learning business as I'm doing it, you know, raising a young family, like it was just a lot. So yeah, it was a lot of, it was burnout.
How old were you?
Oh, I was 23 when the shop opened.
Yeah, like super young.
23 when the shop opened, yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility, you know.
I had no business doing that, like none. Like none.
Come on, tell me about what you mean. I know what you mean, but I want you to tell the listeners what you mean. You had no business doing it.
It was just way, I was just expecting like results to happen way too fast, and things was happening for me because I had the energy, so I had to push to do it, and it was happening, and I wasn't ready for it. Like I like there's steps that need to be taken. There's a process for everything,
right?
You know, there's steps that need to be taken before you do everything, and if you miss those steps, then sooner or later you're gonna get burnt out, and everything you built is gonna collapse because you didn't take those steps. You know, it's kind of like leaving school. You know, I missed out on, I didn't get a lot, you know, that comes with just finishing high school. The confidence that comes with having a high school diploma, I didn't have that on the intellectual level. Like I could go out and go make shit happen for myself, but I needed to go through certain things before I got to where I started working. And then I needed to go through things even in somebody else's barbershop that wasn't, 3 years wasn't enough for me to go and open my own shop, you know? I probably should have handled that situation a little different. Like talk to the owner, like, yo, I can't work here with this dude. Like it's not gonna be good. You know, I could have handled that situation a lot different instead of handling it out of frustration and making an impulsive move and saying like, yo, I'm about to go get my own shit.
Right.
At 22. You know what I'm saying?
That's young. It's a lot of responsibility, you know, for somebody so young. And also, like you mentioned, like you didn't have the business, I guess, management background and experience to know how to really build that strong, solid foundation so that you could just really soar.
Was faulty as hell.
But sometimes it is. Yeah. Are you the first generational entrepreneur?
Yeah, in my house, like nobody owned the business, so I got.
Yeah, so I feel like the first generation, that's just what's gonna happen, you know, and the ones that kept going and made it happen, I'm like, sheesh, like it's a lot of work, you know.
Yeah, it'd be tight if you had guidance along the way or somebody that did it before you that, you know. But even if you did, would you listen? Like sometimes you so, you know, you got that energy at that age. You so ambitious. You so much a rebel. You know, it doesn't matter what somebody telling you sometimes. So, you know, you could have a business owner in the family. Somebody could tell you like, yo, slow down. You know, you need to go through certain things. And I might not have heard that, you know, the right way. So I got to learn this way. So this is the way I know how to learn. And, you know, it's a harsh way to learn how to, you know, maneuver, but everybody learn different. I think if you would have told me anyway, I still would have been like, nah.
Exactly. So when you say that, I'm like, oh, I relate to that on a whole nother level because I know I'm the same way. I can hear somebody trying to guide me into, you know, these steps that you need to take in order to make it work. But it's like in that moment, you know, I think it's excitement too. You know, on top of being like ambitious, I think you're excited. You just ready to see those results too. And it's like, I don't want to wait. I want to see them today, you know? So I heavily relate to that for sure because I'm learning today to stop doing it, you know, like listen to these people with experience, you know, that can guide you so that you don't be burnt out because I feel like burnout do come from the inexperience. And then it's like you had to fail to learn it. And then it's like, damn, now I got to go back and figure it out again. I don't have the energy. So now I'm burnt out. I don't have the energy, you know, so.
You old, dusty, and burnt out. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, seriously, for real. So you were a barber before social media blew up, and now after it's become such a big deal, what's the biggest difference you notice in the industry? You know, pre and post social media for you.
Pre social media, things were a lot more organic. Easier going, less stressful. Business was so much better. It was a better time in business before social media. You got to pay so much attention to social media and take away from the key, the main ingredient. It take away from the key. You know, you got to focus on what you say.
What's the key?
The key is to serve the client. So
Okay.
whatever your service based business or your product or whatever your business is, right? Like you gotta put so much energy towards social media and marketing that way that it robs you of your happiness. It robs you of a lot of things, because it's like never ending. It don't stop. Social media is 24 hours. You feel like you always got to be posting. You always got to be on it. You know, word of mouth is like, you know, it's an easier way to get your business out there in the natural way, and it flows. It comes out naturally, so it doesn't seem exhausting. Yeah. When all I got to do is make sure that this product is always consistent, or my service. I just got to make sure my service is always consistent, and I'm good. I'm putting all my focus there. Now, like, a lot of that focus have to go on advertising with social media, because it takes a lot out of you. Even if you have a social media team, nobody's going to sit in your business, or nobody's going to sit there for hours and know how to give or organic reach to potential clients. So you got to kind of still be involved in it, even if you are hiring a social media staff.
Yeah, because they need to be able to, you know, create the vision.
You got to communicate with somebody, right?
Yeah, you got to create the vision that you have, you know, for your marketing purpose on social media, for sure.
And then if you're a small business entrepreneur, you're doing that yourself.
Right.
So that means you seeing it not move. You paying for posting ads, but something that you might not have chose for the algorithm didn't work. Whatever shit they might have just changed yesterday.
Right.
Because that's how much it changes up. So it's like you always got to be on it and always learning it.
Yeah.
And you know, the only way for you to really not be involved in it is if you have a lot of marketing dollars, like a lot of money, to where you hiring top-notch a marketing team that you don't really have to do nothing. Right. And that's not most of small businesses.
Right.
They don't have that.
Yeah. Can't afford it.
Yeah.
It's too much, you know? It costs a lot of money. I don't know if you ever checked out the prices of these social media content managers. They're not cheap. Because I have. Because imagine. I didn't want my hands in it no more. Because for all the reasons that you mentioned, you know, like you said, it did take away those relationships that you have with your clients, like sitting behind a chair, talking, just catching up about whatever's going on reality TV, whatever you want to talk about. It did take that away, because now we got the cameras in their face, you know, and like when we were talking earlier, you mentioned they're not models.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now you want to take pictures, or, you know, to show your work, you know, on social media. Now the client felt obligated to take the picture now. They're not going to tell you no.
Right.
You know? Or maybe a certain age group, a younger age group, they might not have a problem with it. But when you start growing with your clients and you get to that 28, 30, you know, they just trying to come get their hair cut and go, or they trying to get their service and go, like, yo, take a picture for me every time, like spinning them around. You trying to find the right lighting. Now you a photographer. Now you got cameras set up on your station. It's just a mess. You got all these GoPros. You know, you trying to do it all.
Mess. It is a mess.
You staying up late trying to figure out photography now.
Yeah.
Like, you on a late night, like, really trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
On top of trying to figure out advertising. On top of staying on top of the latest trends for haircuts or whatever the main ingredient is, right?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You still got to tend to the main ingredient too, whether, like I said, that's a product or that's a service or whatever.
Right.
Like, that shit still need attention.
It sure does. So, it needs the most attention.
Yeah, just because you've been in business for X amount of years don't mean that you could put that on autopilot, because the main chick always need the attention, yo. Like,
wait a minute.
The main just need the attention.
The main chicks, so the side chicks are like the photography, the videography.
In the way, all the way. Get rid of all of the side chicks, go old school, and just pay attention to the main Jane. Yeah.
Ooh, that analogy is everything. I freaking love that. Yeah. Those are the side chicks.
You think you're doing something with the side. You think it look like you busy and you maneuvering and you doing, but you really just making a big mess. That's what you're doing. You're just making a big mess.
Right. Yeah. Especially when your hands got to be involved in all of it, you know. Yeah, if you could, like you mentioned, if you could hire these people to take, like, you hire a photographer, hire a videographer, y'all do y'all job. Social media content managers, y'all do y'all job. And all I want to do is cut and talk to my client. But it's just so much money. And then when you try to incorporate that into your business, then you got to go up on your prices. And then when you go up on your prices, the client is expecting that value back, not understanding you balancing all these hats. You're not getting paid for all these hats. And, I think that also leads to burnout. Because it's like, I'm doing
go up
all
in the
these
prices, and you want them to be models.
It's just too much, and you bouncing all these different jobs. I feel like that also leads to burnout. It's
social media is the devil.
It's the devil.
Social media is
the devil's work.
I think everybody should go old school. With everything around the board.
Right.
Everything around the board. Like not just even talking about business. Just slow it down. Like that shit just made things move way too fast.
Yeah.
You could get a hold of anybody.
Yeah, I think
everybody's opinion is shown for everybody for the world to see. Like it's a big mind trick, man. It's hard. Like it's tough.
Yeah.
People really struggling with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people really struggling with it. Like
they are with the comparing
themselves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They are. I always say, hopefully one day they create like specific days and hours where you can have access, and you just can't after that. I feel like that'll also help with just people are so invested in social media now that they don't socialize in person. Like you see it everywhere. People's heads are down in their phones. Nobody's talking to no one unless you are a person that really genuinely still enjoy human interaction outside of the internet.
And that's got to go both ways. Like, you got to hope the other person feel the same way, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like, why is this person
talking to me?
So,
so I guess I don't have to ask you, do you prefer the way things are now versus back then?
Yeah, no.
No.
Social media isn't going nowhere. Like, it's never going, like you said, it's never going to have them breakdown days. You're not going to wake up and it's just not going to not work. Like, it's too big of a business now. It's too much money get drawn to it.
Yeah.
And it's like a big distraction capture. Like, you know, that's what that's like a whole nother subject, but it's a distraction. Like, it was like people would say about TVs, so it's not going nowhere. So I feel like you just got to learn how to like monitor it and take things the old way. Take some things the old way as much as you can. Like don't do so much advertising on it, or don't show so much of your personal life, but still have fun with it.
Yeah.
Like look at it sometime when you got downtime and you need a laugh. Like go check out your favorite comedian. You know what I'm saying? But try not to be too much. Don't give it too much, it's easy to give too much because that's how much it grab you.
Yeah,
that shit is good.
It is. Like, it's addicting. You'll be in a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
you'll go down a rabbit hole like literally just scrolling and scrolling.
Yeah, it is.
At one point, do you feel like it helped your business in any kind of way or not?
Yeah, in the beginning, I felt like it drew a lot of attention because I was into it more so than like learning it, which took me away from clients. It took me away from becoming a better barber, a better stylist. But I paid a lot of attention to it in the beginning when it first came out. I want to say like maybe 2010 when businesses really start using Instagram, for marketing.
Right.
But yeah, it definitely drew attention to what I was having going on in my barbershop. Because I could just show, I would just show live footage, just live stories and just regular people just walking in and out, just showing what's going on.
Like the day-to-day operation.
Yeah, just the day-to-day. And that was fun to me. That was cool. I seen a return on that. A lot of people was coming to check it out because it was there. It was shown like live footage. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, in the beginning I did see like it being helpful, but that was before everybody kind of everybody became a business owner after a while.
They did.
So it just kind of flooded it. It flooded it.
Social media created it. Like having people thinking that they can be business owners and entrepreneurs. They were pushing it. They still push it.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy.
Heavy.
Yeah, they do.
Heavy.
At what point did it feel like I don't want to do social media no more? Because you said in the beginning you did enjoy it. So what led to this is affecting my business in ways that not could potentially hurt your business, but it's keeping you away from that organic, reach that you want with your clients? Do you remember that?
Do I remember which part? What you saying?
Like when that shift happened from you enjoying it to like, this is consuming my time. I'm not able to be who I was before, and that person I really enjoyed in my business.
I think it's the more it advanced with businesses, especially after COVID.
Oh, so you enjoyed it for quite some time then, because COVID was in 2020 and you started like in 2010.
Yeah, I want to say probably like 2017, 2018. I started feeling like it was getting a little weird.
Okay.
I felt like in order for you to get certain views or certain push, you needed to be artificial. You need to have more of an artificial look to your haircuts. I felt like you needed to be more animated in your videos. You kind of needed to have be more of an actor, and just showing like regular day to day and regular haircuts, it wasn't enough.
Right.
So they needed kind of like they needed more attention, because it was like the more you start seeing how the algorithm worked, the more you post, the more you. So now I got to keep posting, and now what I have to post has to be out of this world looking. It can't just be a regular haircut. It has to be enhanced, an enhanced haircut, or it has to be heavily photoshopped, or it has to look a certain way for the views to get across and for a certain amount of people. Like, so once I felt like the robot was playing a game for me, I was like, I'm out. I can't do this shit.
Right.
Like, I can't figure this shit out. Like.
So if you could have figured it out, do you feel like you would have kept at it with social media?
Yeah. But like you said, like after a while you get burnt out. If that's all you doing, that's fine. You could probably figure it out.
With all the other hats.
Yeah, but I was trying to do so many other things that I couldn't keep up with it, and that was probably like 2019, like right before the vid.
Gotcha. What inspired you to open a barber college?
Just having a hard time finding barbers and training them in my barbershop. Okay. Like, so when they would come there, I would have to like train them in the shop, and I was just like, man, this ain't cool. I got to train you on the floor while I got clients walking in. So it's just like, I want to be able to have a facility where I train barbers, whether they come to me or not. It'll just be good barbers out there in the town, so just to put out good barbers. And when I say good barbers, is barbers that like, we community people. Like, we not rappers. Like, we not, you know what I'm saying? Like, we not like a movie star or like all of this. Like, we don't look like that. We community men. Like, we out here, we sometimes coaches, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I wanted to kind of develop that mindset, like just kind of reproduce myself just over and over and over again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Do you feel as though also along with, so that was also a demand that was pulling you away from your clients as well?
Yeah.
So when you opened the barber college, it was at the first location.
No, I turned the first barbershop into a barber school.
Right. Okay. And so then,
my 4th year. Yeah,
but then you I think, didn't it open up right next to Genesis 2?
No.
No?
No, so I made the first shop a barber school after the 4th year.
Okay.
And then I moved to a bigger location because we was having more barbers, and eventually the students from the barber school was going to graduate. So I went and got a bigger location, and that's the Minnieville spot, probably like 10 minutes away from my original location.
Right. I don't know why I thought the barber college was in there too. I don't know.
And where? Oh, in the bigger barbershop.
Yes.
Yeah.
So eventually it shifted, right?
Eventually, it shifted. Yeah. I did a lot of shifting around.
Which is okay.
So eventually I made that a barbershop / barber school.
Yes.
And turned the original shop, back into a shop.
Yes. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure I had that right. Yeah. So is there a reason why you decided to bring those barbers to Genesis 2 and then transform Genesis One back into a back into just a barbershop, versus the barber college?
Yeah, I wanted to sell my first shop. Like, I wanted to start selling them. So eventually, like, my initial plan was to just have the school, and just develop these Genesis barbers. Like, that was just my plan. Develop these Genesis barbers. After a while, that became my plan.
Okay.
So yeah, I had envisions on selling my barbershop to maybe one of my barbers or whoever.
Oh, okay, got you. That makes so much sense. Okay.
Yeah, so I turned the bigger barbershop, I split it, kept that a barbershop and half of the school.
Can you share what led to the closures of your shops in Barber College?
Yeah, I can share it.
Okay.
So when I decided to close the barber school, the second time I built it out in the new location, COVID hit.
Okay.
Like, I started it in November, and it hit that March, February. I had my grand opening then.
Oh, that's right, because it was a 10-year anniversary.
It was a 10-year anniversary
in
too,
2019.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh my goodness.
So COVID kind of messed me up a little bit, because a lot of my barbers, they decided around COVID time, which everybody was doing. It was just, you had a lot of time on your hands, so it kind of made you like look at other options. A lot of my barbers like left. Mm-hmm. So it kind of affected my barber school as well, because they was going hand in hand. Like, I was just like taking from one to make sure another one, could financially be stable to just be up, right? So they was kind of working hand in hand together. Mm-hmm. So I lost a lot of people, like, just in the barbershop, key barbers. So COVID played a big role, and just I was going through a personal situation with my family splitting up, and just mentally I was still trying to push through and go with what I said I was going to do, because I wrote it down. I said I was going to do it. Me just being me just being Omar, right? Just
what does that mean?
Like, just doing shit, just doing things. Even though I planned for it and this is what I want to happen, and I had the school rolling for like 4 years already, so it ain't like I didn't know what I was doing, and I just felt like I knew I wasn't well mentally to make that go.
Yes.
I didn't have certain members on my team at that time, and I was just trying to do everything myself. So like the 4 years that I did have a barber school rolling, like, I had a good solid instructor team. I had people to help me build that. Right. So I was still trying to make that, happen without those key players being there. Like, that's how important a team is. Like, you can't do the shit by yourself, Mm-hmm. So yeah, I had to just downsize, Yeah. And that was like probably one of the toughest things that I had to do ever in my life. Right. Was let people go and tell them that, students that joined it, that believed in me, they seen what I did before, but like I said, like, I had a team then when I had it going, and mm-hmm. I had to let a lot of people go, and that shit was rough. Right. So it was just a combination of the world changing with COVID and my personal things going on, mm-hmm. financial shit happening. Mm-hmm. So I just had to like come down to my original location, and I kept my original 3 guys and just closed and finished that lease out there. Mm-hmm. After probably like in 2020. Yeah. 2022 is when I just finalized my last barbershop. Yeah. Yeah.
So whenever you let the barber college and Genesis 2, whenever you let it close, did it kind of feel like, okay, finally some burden is lifted, even though like...
Yeah, it was good. It was finally a burden is lifted, yup. Mm-hmm. Yup. It was definitely that feeling. Yeah. But it was also a sad feeling too. I had to let potential students go that took a chance with me. You know what I'm saying? So, mm-hmm. That was tough. So I couldn't really feel that. I still had that feeling in my gut, like that uneasy feeling still. It wasn't like all the way like, I got that shit off my back. Mm-hmm. Now I still got 2 more guys that I don't want to fucking, mm-hmm. Tell them that it's not looking good, but I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing with this situation here in the original shop. you know, with the two guys that started it with me
Right.
from day one, you know, so yeah, that was a tough ass time.
Yeah. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Looking back, is there anything you would have done differently?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Can't even look at me with a straight face.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but
Even
no,
just listening to
if
the
I had
story.
a chance, if I had a choice,
What would you do?
I probably would do this whole thing over.
How?
You know, I don't know how. You know, I don't know how, but I probably would like knowing what I know now. If I could take a little piece, like just the patience piece, it would be completely different for sure.
So patience, you feel like was probably
I
the
was
number
so in a
one
rush
reason
to do everything. I don't know. Like I hope my son take heed to, like, you know, understanding how important patience is, like being okay with going through the process. It's okay, even if it take you super long. It's okay. You know, you know, the slow and steady wins the race every time. Like you trying to hurry up and get there, bro, you're gonna burn out.
Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna make some mistakes. Like I hope that you could come back from them shits. You know, they're not like really bad mistakes. So you know. Yeah, if I would definitely probably do it all over again. If I could take a little piece back with me with my brain, and that little piece would just be patience.
Yeah, because when you are speaking about the journey, it do sound like you were eager and like excited.
Yeah, I don't know what I thought. I don't know. Maybe I thought I was gonna like die soon or something. I don't know why I was moving like that.
Oh my, I'm glad you said that.
I think maybe that was like maybe
right. It's like
soon.
I gotta get this done before God called me home. That was me too. Like I was literally there mentally. I even posted a Facebook status about it before we moved to Virginia. And I was like, my only dream is just to finally do this before I leave the earth. And everybody was like, you gotta chill. You know,
relax.
That's crazy you say that, because I'm thinking like it's me. Like, girl, you doing too much. You know, for you to say that, I'm like, no, for real. I think that is for some people what it is. That's crazy. I was definitely there.
You
like,
need to chill and let life come to you. But I don't think you get that until a later age, or you might see your parents move like that, and that might be how you move. Like my parents are like anxiety driven. You know what I mean? Like it's just
was
anxious.
It survival driven too? You think so?
Like all that. Like we just, you know, how we, you know, we came from, you know, parents that's just figuring it out too when they had you. So they're not moving like smooth and calm and collective.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they moving kind of funny too. Like. They moving through life, so you grow up seeing that, and that's how you kind of make your decisions. You're not like coasting through life and letting it come to you. You like, you want to control everything. You know what I'm saying?
Why you feel like you want to control everything?
You said why?
Yeah.
Because that's what I came from.
Okay.
You know? Now I'm in a different place in life. Like I'm, you know, I done moved. I'm 37 now. Like it took me this long to feel like, yo, you know, you gotta let life come. You gotta let this shit come to you, bro.
Yeah.
Like you trying to go and grab everything. It's running from you, and you stressing yourself out.
Yeah.
You're killing yourself trying to get it. Just let it come to you. You show up consistently and do what you need to do, and it's gonna come to you every time.
Yeah.
It might take 3 years, might take 5, might take 20.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's okay. You know, I wish people would talk about that more, because I know Sam Walton, that's like the owner of Walmart. I think he was 44, you know, when he opened up his first Walmart. And when you learn that these people are like old, they're not in their 20s, you know, whenever they finally, you know, whatever business plan or structure they have, it's like they're in their mid-40s, you know, but you don't really notice stuff. And you also thinking like, oh, they have a different life than I do too, which I feel like it's very valid, because they do, you know, but I'm learning these people don't take off till they're like in their mid-40s. You know, hardly ever.
Everybody's situation is different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody going through their journey with different backgrounds.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Are there any misconceptions or rumors about the closure you like to clear up with the barbers and community you built in Woodbridge?
Nah, like it didn't look good, so I'm sure there's probably nasty things said. I mean, of course, but I don't have nothing that I would want to personally like clear up. Like I would just want to just thank people, like, yo, like thank you for rocking with me. You know, thanks. It was other barber schools around, you know, so I appreciate people like taking their chances on me, and signing up with the school and really being down with the movement, because I try to make it look like a movement.
It
and
was
did.
a movement.
So, I don't have it would just be a big thank you. Like, even for barbers that chose to step from behind the chair to help me instruct. I couldn't compensate barbers what they would get compensated to come help me with these students. They just did it out the love. They just did it out because they messed with what was going on. So
they believed in your vision.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. So I mean, if there's rumors, let them be rumors, I guess. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure that didn't look good. I don't like the way it looked.
Do you care about how it looked?
Do I care? Yeah, I care about myself, but I know now that I'm in a space now. I know that's what needed to happen because I wasn't well up here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't well up here. Like, my shit was just, I was running on films, just hoping that like it worked out. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't have that drive. I was just doing it because I said I was going to do it. That second time around.
It wasn't passion driven. Like,
it was just something I felt like I had to do because I said I was going to do it. Like, I was so hurt and I was just in a bad place. Yeah, I couldn't motivate. You couldn't motivate the students how I needed to motivate them. I couldn't motivate the team of instructors and barbers that I needed to help me. I couldn't. I did as most as I could. Like, I was out of shape. I was looking crazy. I didn't like pictures being taken of me. Yeah. I didn't like my appearance. I didn't like the way I looked in the mirror. So it was
maybe it's because you have been so many things for so many people. Maybe you needed somebody to be there for you. Maybe that's why you was looking for that thing. Because you gave a lot. Yes, you had barbers that stepped from behind the chair to help you because they did believe in your vision, but you still put out a lot to help the community. So it's like, well, what are you getting in return? And that's going to lead to burnout too, because at the end of the day, we doing all this hard, heavy work mentally more than anything, You need somebody to be there for you as well. So it could be that too, Yeah, for sure. How did it feel having to let everyone go, especially knowing that some understood the decision while others may not have?
I said it felt terrible. Like, it felt crazy. Like, I felt like it felt like I knew I needed it, so I was okay like having those conversations. But like in the dark, like when I was in the shop by myself, I let it out then, all
like
of the sadness, cried. Yeah. Like,
for sure.
Like, I lived in that shop. Like, that last year of the lease, like, I stayed there.
Like, you were living, that was your home. I was living
there. That was my house before I left Virginia and came out here.
So what do you mean? Like,
that was part of me having to close it too. Like, my living situation wasn't too good. Like, it kind of messed me up like that. Yeah, closing all that shit down left me in debt. Like, I'm still going through a lot with it. Absolutely. But I know I had to change my location and that's what I did. So I'm still regrouping from them impulsive decisions that I made. I'm still trying to like regroup myself. But I know like I come first. Like, so I know I gotta take care of my shit first. Yeah. So before I left Virginia, I was staying in the original barbershop for a year before.
For a year?
Yeah, for a year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's why I had to let my two guys go.
So that you can have a place to stay.
So I could have a place, and I didn't want to tell them that because then they would have just probably made it that, so, you could stay. I don't want to be an inconvenience to anybody.
You should have said something.
But I knew I had a spot that that was my home. That was my baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was, I stayed there and I made it do what it, I had to do so.
Even outside the inconvenience, and you would have let one of them know, and they would have offered, you a place to stay. Do you feel like that could have kind of helped because they would have still been there at the barbershop, and then you just needed some temporary time to just get back on your feet in order to keep your shop running? Do you feel like, if you would have done it, maybe?
If I would have asked, to stay at somebody's spot, what do you mean?
Like one of the barbers?
Nah, I don't think that was enough to kind of keep that shit going. Like, that needed to happen.
Okay.
Like, that needed to happen for all of us. Like, one of my guys got his own suite. Like, I felt like that was power move for him. You know, and then one of my other guys is, you know, working with another guy that he likes working for. Like, you know, I think it needed to kind of happen. You know, I wasn't
growth, right?
Yeah, it needed to happen. Like, even though it was, you know, it was sad, and I, you know, that was my baby, but I had to sometimes gotta let your baby go. You know.
Yeah.
I let it go.
Yeah.
You know.
Everything you were going through, did you deal with it on your own, or do you feel like you did have some support?
I had support people that I would talk to, but what support? You gotta go through shit on your own. Like, what is that, venting? Like,
yeah, you know, like maybe emotional support, because you say you had to let it out. You know, did you cry to some people sometimes and talk about what you went through, and did they offer some, you know, any type of support to help you, or you just kept this all to yourself and you wanted to handle it all on your own?
Nah, I definitely had people to talk to, and you know, not so much try to support to like keep it open or nothing like that. I think everybody's seen like I wasn't even looking good, so everybody kind of know like, yo, this shit wearing you down, bro. Like, you know, this might be the best option for you to is just like close everything.
So they were supportive, and they did understand that part, you know.
Cause they seen how I was, you know. They seen
not like how you were.
Nah, nothing like that guy.
And see, I didn't see that guy. You know, I only know.
Nah, you came around when I was on fire.
You was, oh my gosh, like you had like flames just constantly underneath your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were so. I could tell that was your baby. And you cared about it, and you nurtured it. You did whatever you had to do to make it run. Yeah.
So yeah, I had people talk to, but after a while, it's only so much somebody could do. Only so many times you want to keep telling the same story. So many times,
even though it's different people,
you want to come around moping, and after a while, you got to start faking the funk, and then, you know, it becomes your natural. You just forget about it after a while. It becomes your natural way of being. It's just dealing with it and dealing with it on your own in the dark. Don't nobody want to be around somebody that's looking all sad all the time and shit. Yeah. So you kind of mask it until the masking becomes your part of your personality for that time that you need to get over that. Yeah,
gotcha. Well, what inspired you to move to Phoenix after all this?
It's peaceful. It's peaceful here. Super peaceful.
That's what I'm experiencing.
I was headed to California. I stopped by here. So I was headed to Cali. I got some friends in Cali. I wanted to just start all over with a new career and everything. I was so frustrated with the barber industry, with the way that I handled shit. I was just frustrated with everything. And I stopped here for 3 days. And I just felt a sense of peace, like super peaceful. It's a lot of building. This is desert. It's a lot of building that could be done here. I just felt like it was a fresh slate. Like it wasn't too fast paced. I could focus on, you know, myself and what I need to get right.
Yes.
Yeah, Phoenix is one of those spots where, you know.
Yeah, I like it here. It's like you said, the pace is like, it's slow, you know, but like it's so quiet. You know, it's like walking outside in a library. Yeah. Well, the girl that done my makeup, she was like, well, you know, you come around here on the weekends, it's a little different, you know. But yeah, I noticed that like people are so nice, they're so friendly, and
people are pleasant. Yeah.
They are so pleasant. I'm like, this is a vibe, especially for like in your situation. I think this is a great place to like collect, recharge, regroup, reflect, all those things, because it gives you that time and that peace and that space to do that. Especially when you constantly surrounded around these people who are like, hi, you know, they like they happy to see you or something. You know, so.
Yeah, you feel like you needed and welcome. Like,
yeah, for sure.
A smile on your face. So
yeah. When you moved to Phoenix, did you know that you would eventually get back behind the chair, or you were also thinking maybe I want to do like something different, make a career change?
Nah, I kind of waited till things got really bad to where I was almost like didn't have any resources left before I made that decision, because I didn't know what I wanted. This is the only thing I ever done. That shit. When I tell people that, like they look at me and be like, "Yo, you never had a job?" Like, no, I never had a job. Never. I did one interview and I didn't get the job. It was for Timberland outlet, and that's the only time I even tried to go get a job.
Yeah.
when I was a teenager. But after that, it's been barber school, barbershop, my own business.
Yeah, for sure.
So
He was like,
I didn't know where to go. It's just like I knew I wanted to do something like construction wise, but I didn't know how to get into it. I don't know how to talk to somebody about getting into that. Okay. You know, this is all I know. I put so much effort into that. I know this so well that it's just like, am I really gonna go start a whole new, chapter in career in my life? And I'm still kind of figuring it out right now. But right now, this is like I had to make a decision, and I'm happy with the decision I made was to go work in somebody else's shop. Like I'm having a great time.
How does it feel to be amazing. Working? Well, why? Why is it so amazing?
Well, first of all, I'm happy that somebody let me work in their shop. That I came from all the way Virginia. I don't have no clientele here. I know what that's like having a barber coming in here. So I I felt welcome. I felt good about that. Like somebody kind of took me in their shit. Right. But I know what it's like to be on the others. I know what it's like to be a barbershop owner. How long is this dude gonna last? He coming from all the way over here. Who is he? You know what I mean? So. Like, I appreciate the opportunity that I have here, and I'm making the most of it,
right.
So I'm just having fun. I'm cool. Like, I'm just focusing on the client.
Right.
I chill with the barbers. It's not that boss-barber type of relationship. I like having, like, we all in this together. We got to spend 10 hours in this barbershop together, whether it's slow or whether it's fast. You know what I'm saying?
You're enjoying the simplicity.
I love the simple shit. Like, I love the plain Jane simple life right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'll ever go back to having so many things going on in my life at one time.
Yeah. Has this chapter helped you rediscover anything about your passion for barbering?
Yes, it made me rediscover, like, how important barbers are to young boys that come in there with their dad, have certain conversations in the barbershop that could lead to people getting job opportunities, just community. Like, it brought that back for me because I kind of got drawn away from that, having all of those other situations going on, trying to start a school and trying to open up other locations. And, you kind of get drawn away from the simple ingredient, the main chick. You just forget about it.
Yeah, it's simple. It's so peaceful. It's, and not to say that it's easy, but you're able to, like, really be intentional and focus and be present. It's really hard to juggle so many hats.
It is.
And when you focus on one thing, you'd be surprised how quickly it can elevate and grow. Instead of, like, having your hands in multiple things, that's when it's going to slow down somewhere. That's even my problem. We talked about this, like where Styles was like, you need to find one thing, nurture that, and you become the all-in for that one thing instead of juggling all these different things. Even if you can do it, don't do it.
Yep. Don't do it.
Yep, and I feel
Not
like...
even as a hobby, just
don't do it.
Just leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Yeah, the riches are in the niches. That's her whole, it's not her quote, that she made up, but that's what she lived by. And she was like, I'm not tapping.
The riches or the niches?
The riches are in the niches or the niches. But we just say niches and make it rhyme with riches. Yeah. So
that's a fact. And
not even just in a monetizing way, like in a peaceful way, like from within, because I know people, to me, whenever they say that, they're talking about money. I'm talking about it all, not just the money part. Because when I was focused on bridal and bridal only, I was happy. I didn't do nothing else. All I'm going to do is pull up, do your hair, and leave, But then when I start, trying to juggle all this other stuff, and then clients will influence you too. Yeah, you got to be careful with clients because they see all this in you, like, oh, you should do this and you should do that. And next thing you know, you're trying it and you're doing it. Yeah. And now you're getting away from that thing that made them come to you.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. So why didn't you just rock with the bridals if you was finding I'm guessing it was paying you well.
Yeah.
And you was happy doing it and it wasn't too much stress on your back. Why you feel like you needed to dabble in other things?
Well, because we moved from Virginia, and Virginia's clientele is completely different from the Austin market. So when I moved to Austin, when I was trying to build the bridal clientele in Austin, it was not like Virginia. Virginia, I feel like, those people are more, cultured. And it doesn't matter what your skin tone is. That if you can do hair, they're gonna book you. You know, but with me being in Austin, it's like, oh, you black, can you even do white hair? Yeah. You know, or you white, can you do black hair? That's a real thing. I even got asked that when I set up as a vendor at a bridal expo, and I didn't get one booking, but she didn't book me right then and there. Her friend convinced her to book me. But when I went to a bridal expo in the DMV, I got 3 times my money back, and I wasted money in Austin. So it's also, the clientele is just different there. So I had to be forced to get back behind that chair because I wasn't going to make no money just doing strictly bridal. I learned that because the black community also is very scarce. And being that we are not trusting each other to do each other's hair, I'm not booking you. So I was just like, I guess I'm going to get back behind the chair then. Okay. Yeah, because that demand was higher than black women getting married in Austin. If they're getting married, it's kind of like in Dallas and Houston, you know. And they get married in Austin too, but it's on a very small scale. Right. Yeah, so that's why I didn't stick with bridal. But I did stick with bridal in Virginia. Like, I left from behind my chair, and I was just doing bridal, and I was doing great because I had no overhead. I didn't have to buy a lot of supplies.
Winning right there.
Yeah,
no
just
overhead.
With no overhead. I'm just showing up doing the hair. Yeah. And I had, got in contact with a stylist who would let me use her studio or her space so I can do the trials because I needed a space for that. So that's why I ended up back behind that chair because I wasn't making no money. Yeah. Nobody was booking. Do you think you'll own a shop or a barber college again one day?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe. But right now, I'm just having so much fun working in somebody else's barbershop and paying attention to, like, the small details, like just the people that come in there. Yeah. And getting back into loving to cut hair and shit like that. So, I mean, if something comes up, sure, I'll take an opportunity. I'm still crazy. Like,
that's that entrepreneurial spirit in you.
I'm still a fucking psycho. But, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go towards that. Like, now I know, like, you got to chill out. You got to chill on making these impulsive moves on yourself. But, like, if somebody want to join in with me and do something, maybe I might, but having so much pressure on myself, I think I learned my lesson the hard way. Yeah. On that.
Yeah, in a good way, though. Good, hard way. It's bittersweet.
That's the only way I can learn, so, I mean, I can't.
I know. And that's so bad because I just feel like I'm the same way. I'm going to have to learn through just messing it up versus somebody saying, hey, don't do this because of X, Y, and Z. It's like, nah, I got to see for myself, which is so silly, but I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs are built like that, though. We're very risky. And we can make some impulsive decisions.
Entrepreneur, that shit is a hard life.
It is.
It should just be in the dictionary, hard life, next to entrepreneur.
What the definition, just hard life.
That's it, hard life.
Especially if you're going to be, like we talked about earlier, if you're going to be the first generation entrepreneur, it is hard. You got to stay committed, you got to stay dedicated, and you got to remember your why in order for you to stay there,
A business owner is completely different than an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. Sure. Yes. I feel like business owners don't have nearly the amount of responsibility that an entrepreneur does mentally.
Business owners usually come into it with funding, so they don't have to have certain issues happen for them. You got the right amount of network and money, then, you can run your business different. But entrepreneurs, it's like this shit's just nasty, man. It's not attractive.
It's nasty. It's not attractive. I agree.
Not attractive, bro. It's just a hard life.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's why I'm making different decisions. But after all you've achieved, how do you hope to be remembered in the barbering community?
I hope to be remembered as just like somebody that just took risk and tried to figure it out and tried to make a barbering an experience for people. You know, when they come to a barbershop, I try to make it an experience. That's what I want people. I want them to feel like, yo, I used to live in Virginia, but when I stepped in Genesis, I really felt like I was in New York. You know, I really felt like I was, or I felt this, or, you know, I remember this song because I remember my son getting his haircut, his first haircut. So every time this song come on, you know, I remember they had the barbecue, and I remember who was on the grill because they, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want them to remember everything that, you know, we did in our community.
I'm going to tell you what I remember since you bringing up music when it comes to what you want people to remember. I remember the OG Project with Fabulous. Wasn't it called the OG Project?
Yeah. And
I remember J. Cole, oh, gosh. I'm so mad at myself. Forest Hills Drive.
Yeah,
that's what I remember. Yeah, so when you said, I'm like, yeah, you did that for sure, because those are the two albums I remember the most, you know, being played whenever they first dropped, and so you did that for sure.
So I just hope I hope they remember like a good barbershop experience.
It was great. Like I said, it was a movement. It was an era. It was like a vibe. Even the clients, like everyone wanted a piece of Genesis, and maybe not always in the best ways either. You know, I feel like maybe most were in good ways, but maybe some not. You know, but it was like a sanctuary. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna still do what I love to do, but I feel good. I feel safe here. You know, it felt safe. That's what it was. It felt safe. Like, felt like home. You know,
everybody knew each other.
Yeah.
Like, you know, see each other in the grocery store, and it's like, yo, you go to the shop.
Yeah.
What up?
Yeah. No.
Or the T-shirts.
Real.
Like when I made T-shirts, like I was surprised at how many clients would buy a T-shirt from a barbershop.
Yeah.
But they like wearing that shit because it's like you a part of a organization, kind of like.
Like I say, you had an organization.
Like, yo, you going to the shop? You go to the shop too? Like,
yep.
So
I remember I wore it one day, and this lady was like, "What is that?" Like, she was asking me what it was, and I think I was in Maryland, and I wore it. It was probably like in 2019 actually when I was visiting. I wore it, and she was asking about the business and stuff. Yeah, and I was like, "You should check it out." She was like, "I have a son. I might have to check it out." You know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like how have the successes and challenges shaped you as a person? Do you want to answer that? Do you feel like you already answered it?
How has
the successes and challenges, like, you know, your success and also some of the setbacks shaped you as a person?
Yeah, well, you know, it shaped me. It made me realize how important patience was, and you know, it definitely made me a person that just learned how to slow things down a little bit, take things, you know, slow and try to enjoy the process instead of being pissed off at the process because you're going through the process and it's not taking you as fast as you want to get there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like now with everything I've been through, I understand how important every small phase is, and don't get frustrated and try to skip. Don't cheat. Because if you cheat at anything, that shit gonna come back and it's gonna tear you up.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good to cheat and try to skip the process. Just go through the process of everything, man.
Yeah, but in that moment, you don't know that you are cheating. It's like, I'm going to do this real quick. And
nah, you know what you're doing, man.
I don't know.
Because you're anxious and you know what you're doing because the intent is there for you to get there faster.
But do you feel like that's really cheating? And you just, and it's not
cheating.
just...
You're cheating the system. Yeah, you're cheating the system,
really?
bro. Because this is a system. A system has steps.
But in that moment, did you know it was a system? So I guess that's what I'm asking. Did you know in those moments that you were cheating? And this is just what you have learned when you had an opportunity to go back and reflect? Because I don't think so. Maybe you were moving with integrity.
You don't know. Like, you just going off of adrenaline.
Yeah, you were moving with integrity. I won't say you cheated the system. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Like,
I can see that way now. I can look back and see that now.
Yeah, and not in a negative way. You just feel like you skipped some steps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, no, that's not what I saw. That's not what I experienced with you. Like, you were moving with integrity. You had a goal, and you just wanted to see it happen.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I saw. That's what I felt. You know, I didn't feel like it was, you were cheating at all. I could tell you were figuring it out along the way because you were young.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I thought things could happen like fast. I got kind of twisted and tied with like the microwave era type of situation.
Yeah.
Where you feel like everything, like a millionaire could really be like 25 years old. Like, nah, it's not. It's not word. It's not true.
Yeah.
Like, it takes some time, yo. I mean,
depends.
that depends with people that's inherited certain situations. So
yeah,
I just knew like it's not my situation. So
yeah, for sure.
And not most people, honestly.
Yeah,
it's not most people's situation.
Yeah, that's true. It's not. I have noticed most people. What I'm learning. I notice a lot of people around me listen more. Excuse me. That's for sure. That's what I've noticed. And
what you mean by that?
Just, you know, being back in school.
You listen more?
Like being back in school, I just see, like, versus when I went to school like years ago, it was different. Like the kids I'm surrounded around, they are intentional. They're listening. They're focused, you know, and I didn't grow up around that. And I'm wondering, like, even with social media, how are they able to stay so focused like that? You know, I don't know. I don't know. I that's what I'm experiencing, you know. So, I don't know. If you could speak to your former staff or students now, what would you want to say to them? Very broadly.
Yeah, just have fun. Man. Keep having fun. Keep having fun. It's all supposed to be fun. When it stops being fun, you either doing too much, and slow it back down, but just have fun. Like we here to serve the people and, you know, make people look good and feel good. We are important. Like, so don't think that you're not important because you're a stylist or a barber or, you know, aspiring barber. But I think we do a lot for people. Might just seem like a haircut or a hair color or whatever, but hair is important, and the way that you look, your image is important to how you move in everyday life.
For sure.
Yeah, just have fun, man. Just have fun, and thank you for coming and encounter with me. You know, thanks for that interaction.
Do you still see yourself as a visionary? And if you do, how are you channeling that energy today?
Yeah, I'm definitely a visionary. My vision's is real short these days, though. Like, I'm talking about real short. Like I visualize what I'm doing for the day.
No future visions.
Nah, hell no. Like, that shit put too much stress on me. Anything could change. Anybody could just walk into your life, or you could walk in the situation tomorrow. So, yeah, like my vision is like day to day. That's as far as I go with my shit.
It's very slow pace.
Super slow pace. Yeah, go take a hike.
Yeah. Well, and you feel like the past taught you how to do that, right?
Yeah. Having too many visions, having all these books with all of these, this shit just confusing, man. Then you got to include a lot of people into your vision. They might move on. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you stressing now. You can't enjoy this relationship because you got visions for this person that they don't even know about.
Yeah. So you was definitely trying to put the clippers in my hand.
Yeah, I had a lot for you.
Yeah.
I had a lot for everybody.
Yeah, you did. You really did. I think you saw their potential or our potential.
Lady barbers kill it. Like, they kill it. Like, we talking about, like, $100,000 a year being the lowest. Like, the pay rate is different for women cutting hair.
Of course.
You know,
for very obvious reasons. Yeah.
So, I mean, you was there. I'm going to talk that into you. I'm going to try to see if you're at least interested in this shit.
I wish I would have listened then, because I would be highly interested today.
It's a great market. It's a great market. Like, it's just...
Yeah. I think so, because I was very new. You know, even being a hairstylist, I had only been licensed for 3 years. And that was my first time working at your shop, like being consistently, actively working. So I think I was just too invested in nurturing that. And I wanted to see what I could do with that versus, like, I'm like, oh, the clippers, that might be a little bit too much for me right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got all this on my plate. I'm trying to put more on your plate. I'm trying to put more on this person's plate.
You projecting.
This is too much.
Projecting. You meant well. You meant
my attention.
well.
You know my attention.
Yeah, you meant well. You
like,
did.
Come on, man. Like we had Rocky there. I seen what one woman could do in the barbershop. I was like, yo, we gotta figure out a way to make other women barbers too, because this is.
And Rocky was lit.
Yeah,
she was. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like today, I don't have the energy, but I would say like 3 years ago, I would have been ready to pick up the Clippers. You know, just because I feel like I've already served the time that I wanted to behind the chair as a stylist. And not forever, just I feel like I learned what I wanted to learn. I had a solid foundation, you know, but back then I was building the foundation of even what I wanted to do, you know. So, and also trying to balance family life, because that was a lot. So not nearly what you had going on, but it was a lot for me, you know, at the time, you know.
Everybody had their journey, and it was hard for you too, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was challenging for sure.
Juggle all of that, and you moved a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's like knowing that even if I go hard here, I'm eventually going to have to leave. So just me having that mindset of just knowing that this ain't gonna be nothing permanent or for a while, it'll probably be hard for me to pull that energy out and do as much as you was doing too, getting involved on social media and doing all of that advertising and pumping and promoting and shit that you was doing too. So yeah,
it's a lot. But when I just feel like you'll know. You know, when if you ever decide to get back on social media, because, you know, like when we close, that's usually what I ask my guests, like, how can my listeners find you? Like, if you want,
you can still go to Genesis Barbers, and you'll see everything I'm talking about. Like, that's why I go back to the Genesis Barbers page on IG, and I just look. I haven't touched it. Everything is still there, like all of the events that we did, everything. My whole process is on IG for Genesis Barbers.
Okay, good. Because I was wondering, because I know we've had our social media talks outside this podcast, and I'm like, do he want people to know?
Yeah, go check Genesis page. Okay. I'm sure somebody could pull something from it, or it's just interesting to see, like, the community, what we was doing, like, that shit was tight, man.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Sure
like,
was.
I put together a lot of events, and people was able to get together and make things happen, you know. Certain, like I said, certain job opportunities, certain people got married that met from coming to the shop, had kids.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? So it's cool. Like that shit cool to go back and look at and be like, oh yeah, I forgot that happened. I forgot we did that, you know. So
yeah, I'm glad you still got the page up so you can reflect.
Yeah.
You know.
I thought about ripping everything down, but I'm glad I didn't. I just kept everything from like, it probably go back to like 2012 maybe.
Dang, you had to be really tapped into your emotions in a very intellectual way to not like just delete it all. Yeah. You know, and make an impulsive decision to do.
That would have been a crazy one.
Yeah. What words of advice would you give a 22-year-old that wanted to be like an aspiring entrepreneur or barber? What advice would you give them?
Just take your time with it, and understand that there's a process. And I keep saying that. Understand that there's a process, and understand what you're asking for at the same time, because it's extremely hard trying to pull pieces together when you're so young, and you're still developing yourself. You're still developing your mind. So I would just say, like, just take your time and understand that entrepreneurship is a tough route, you know. So just take your time, have some patience with yourself, and even if entrepreneurship, you give it a try, and even if you don't, there's other options out there besides entrepreneurship. Like,
would you have done anything
college,
different?
Military.
Yeah.
There's other options, or, you know, there's way more things.
Yeah, I was going to say, so, because I know you said that you would have completed your high school, you know, career, of course. Okay, but what would have been the next step after high school, since maybe you...
If I could communicate the way that I know how to communicate now, I would, and I think kids and younger people know how to communicate and get their point across a lot better, because you're more heard now. Like, you got to kind of hear people now.
Right.
You know, so I feel like if you struggle with school, it's okay. They might have a slower pace for you, but don't give up on school.
Right.
You know, understand like school is a process. Like that's one of the things that that's something you need to experience.
Right.
Whether it's high school or even going to college, give it a try. College is not whack. Like going to the military, there's plenty of opportunities that you could benefit from at a young age, joining the military, you know? So I just feel like looking into other things, don't just be so set on how entrepreneurial look. It might look like you could go take the day off or take a vacation, but that's not true. Sometimes you working harder and you making less money than the people that work for you.
Absolutely.
Or that work with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's not always nice. Like and sometimes when you're an entrepreneur and you got to make that choice, you don't have no other choice. You might not be as intellectually smart as somebody else that might have to make that choice to go be an entrepreneur and go do whatever they need to do to have a career for themselves. You might be somebody that's super smart. Use that. Don't get distracted by how social media is making things look, because it's all artificial. It's not real. Nobody's showing the hard part on camera, because that shit is ugly. It's not attractive. So just slow pace and understand it's going to be a grind, and it's super hard. It's a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of them don't even make over $50,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? So just, you know, you have to be really passionate about what you're doing, and sometimes it might be the only choice. The entrepreneur that did that might have been his only choice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to tell people, don't rule out college. Like, that should be the main focus. You get so much out of that. Forget all of that. You're going to end up with debt. You're going to have debt regardless. You're American. You live here.
I know that's right.
This is what it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? So one way or another, you're going to have debt.
Right.
So, like, don't rule out college, the military. I feel like entrepreneurship should be probably like the third or fourth route that you need to take, man. And sometimes a person don't have no other option but to take that route. And that's why the entrepreneurial lane is kind of clogged up now, because you got intellectual people just saying it look fly to be an entrepreneur on Instagram because it look like you could be famous, or, you know, people, you know how it is.
How it draws you
so
in,
it's just like,
sure.
bro, but you smart. You're a good test taker. I know you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can remember certain things that you could just look at something and remember it. You know, a week later, you could still remember that. That's a gift. That's your gift.
Right.
This other person that might have took the chance, that started up his own whatever business, that might be all he can do.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like the lane is way too clogged up with just everybody flooding it from social media.
Yeah.
But just take your time to understand. Give yourself time to understand what's for you, and communicate. You know, if you feel like school is hard for you, let somebody know so they could twist and turn it, maybe so it could work for you.
Absolutely.
Because there's other options besides you learning one way now. You know, so.
Especially today.
Yeah,
they have so many options today.
Don't give up on school. Like, just don't give up. You might not be. I wasn't good at it. I'm still not good at it. Like, it took me a year to read a book sometime. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, so.
Is it because, like, you're trying to retain? Or
I'm trying to retain it. Yeah, I'm reading the same chapter over and over again because I forgot what the shit was about.
Right.
Like,
also,
you know?
or is it also you not being consistent on top of trying to also retain what you read?
It could be that too.
Yeah.
I don't like words. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a physical person. I hate looking at words. I like action.
Visual?
I like visuals. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I look at a bunch of words, like, yeah, I'm like, fuck. Before I even start reading, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I gotta read all that. All right, let's get to it. It's gonna take me hours.
I just jump to the conclusion. I'd be like, child, let me get on to the bottom and see what y'all talking about, you know. Yeah.
And you know, some people that could look at that and read all of that and understand and can recite it word for word sometime. What they just read one time.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Some good advice. Great advice, actually. Because especially the way how the world is moving, I don't think people are really thinking about joining the military. I don't think they're even thinking about college because everybody just want to be on social media creating content and making money from social media content.
I know people living really well at like 35 and retired. 36,
oh, I do too.
Living really well.
I do too.
And retired from one job.
Thing.
Now, and everything else is just on autopilot for their life.
Yep.
And it's an easier life.
Absolutely.
A happier life, a more slower paced life.
Yeah, I'm witnessing it. You know, I'm witnessing it right now, you know, and just being consistent with that one thing. Like what we were talking about originally, instead of trying to tap into so many things, just stick with that one thing and make that thing work. You know, because
it's not supposed to be this many businesses. I feel like not supposed to be this many.
Because who are going to be the employers? You know, I mean the employees if you have that many businesses. You know, so for sure. Yeah. You have anything else you want to add?
No, but thanks for coming to Phoenix. Like this is cool. Thanks for having us. Thanks for having me, and it's good talking to you. Good talking and catching up with you.
Yeah, and, thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
I'm hungry now. You ready to go eat?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, show me Phoenix. Let's go eat. Let's go get some grub. I'm hungry.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you for tuning in and hearing about this incredible journey of reinvention and growth. Whether you're an entrepreneur or someone looking to find your own path, we hope today's conversation inspired you to embrace change and keep pushing forward. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with anyone who needs a little encouragement. Stay tuned for more stories that remind us all that reinvention isn't just a possibility, it's a powerful path moving forward.